Hi guys, so I want to show you this report from Bloomberg where they interviewed the CEO of one of these companies in the City of London who deals in trading of shares. Now, Boris Johnson and the Brexiteers have really dropped the ball here. And they, instead of focusing on financial services and how it will impact the City of London, they instead focused on fishing. They understood that fishing won votes. Fishing was more sexy than, for example, the financial services sector. And they were able to convince Brexiteers, be it them within the Conservative Party or the general public, to support Boris Johnson and the government. And this is coming at the detriment to the real economy, because the services sector represents much more, and the financial services sector represents much more than the fishing industry, for example. Now, I want to show you this interview where they're going to interview the CEO of one of these companies, and he'll explain it.
We are the sixth largest exchange in Europe in terms of turnover and do around about 5% market share. 75% of our business has been European business, and that's been conducted in London. And today, overnight, we've seen 99.6% of that business shift to Europe.
So 99% of his business has shifted to Europe in one day. Overnight, he said. Now, we're not talking about a few million pounds. We're not talking about even tens of millions of pounds. I'm going to show you in a moment exactly what sort of figures we're talking about.
So Europe has clearly at this point in time won the battle to win its own share trading back into EU 27.
And we've seen this before, how the European Union gained in this Brexit deal with Boris Johnson. There's zero tariffs on goods moving in and out of the port of Dover. There are, of course, customs checks or whatever, but in regards to tariffs, there's free trade, basically. There's no extra costs on trade. But on services, there is no deal. And on financial services, there is no deal. So the European Union is able to say to Boris Johnson and the Brexiteers, if you want a deal, well, you're going to have to wait for it. We're going to, in the meanwhile, take advantage of your isolated position.
I think all this talk about equivalence being granted in the next few months is absolutely in dreamland. I think it will take years, if ever, for equivalence.
So it's going to take years, if ever, for equivalence. So where both sides would be equal. Where the City of London would be able to trade in the same way as it did while the UK was a member of the European Union. So it will eventually take place, but it will take place on the European Union's terms, not on the British side's terms. It will decide, the European Union will decide how the City of London will be able to trade. This was a massive, as he said, a massive own goal by Boris Johnson and the Brexiteers. Now, what sort of money are we talking about? This is from the same report. It's from Bloomberg. It says Brexit deficit over $5 billion in European shares left London for EU venues on the 4th of January. So just on the 4th of January, $5 billion was removed from the UK stock exchange for the European Union. Once again, the Brexiteers focusing on something as marginal, as small as fishing, to the detriment of the trading in shares. But this is just one example. I talked about in the past of other examples where the financial services sector is moving money out of the City of London, moving it to cities like Dublin, to Amsterdam, to Berlin. Banks are doing the same thing. And there are also reports about companies who had planned to set up in the City of London are deciding against that as well. The wrong people were in charge at the wrong time, and they made the wrong decisions. Boris Johnson has no business being in number 10. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?